common bonds that we have in the universe. They're full of power. So anytime that you add acid to anything, and depending on how acidic it is, how strong the acid is, the more quickly that happens, the faster the hydrogen interacts. And if it's an acid that's closer to being a base or closer to being alkali, then it won't do that as quickly, but it all has to do with a hydrogen.
Victoria, that's the part you start getting really complicated and talking about all the things, and that's the part where you just lose me. Is that okay?
I mean, that's okay if it's okay with you.
I'm like, hydrogen, I just put it in the acid, it makes it taste good.
I do have a question though. I do know how acid works, but for those of us who are cooking raw, animal proteins, how much, does it need to be covered to the top with lime juice? Can some be sticking out as long as we mix it? How much lime juice are we talking?
Chef Fatima, I'm gonna let you take that one because measuring is not my strong suit.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry?
Oh, Chef Fatima, I was saying, if we are cooking with an animal protein, how much lime juice do we need? Does it need to be completely submerged? Does it need to be halfway and we just mix it? How much lime juice do we need?
You would not need to, personally, I do not fill it up to the top, almost halfway through. I don't know if Chef Jesse or you are against that or not. That would be something, a chef's thing, I guess. Or scientifically, I would love to know how it should go.
So what I can tell you is Victoria and I obviously have been playing with this tension of, how much to measure, how specific are you? I do almost everything by feel and by instinct. And she's like, wait, it needs to have a measure. And what I can say is that for my half pound of lingcod, I used the juice of a lime, which ended up being about a quarter of a cup. Now, I will show you, if I can get a spotlight on my hands, what I'll show you is the thing that I think you and I could agree on, Victoria, is when I am instinctively getting a sense of how something works, what I am doing is I'm actually registering the ratio. So I'm registering instinctively the ratio of lime to protein. And when I'm doing it with a vinaigrette, I know the ratio is 3-to-1 fat to acid. So instinctively or otherwise, ratios are an incredibly potent and powerful way to think about your cooking because they allow you to have a lot of creativity in the future if you start to understand what the ratio is. So I'm just guessing here because I don't know for sure, but I would say it looks like my acid to protein ratio is about 1-to-6. I almost have the fish kind of submerged in the acid, but not it's not full to brimming. It's sort of every piece has a little bit of acid, and then I'm stirring it every couple minutes to get it moving in the right direction. I could add a little bit more acid if I wanted to, and I don't particularly feel like I need to. So I hope that's helpful. It sounds like all the chefs in the house sort of agree that we do it by feel. And our recipe today has the juice of 2 limes. I definitely could add a little bit more lime to be on the safe side. What we're going to do next is we're going to get all of our mise en place set up. If I could get a spotlight on my face as well while I'm talking, that would be lovely. I'm going to get, I like this split spotlight, Amanda, so that you can see my hands and my face at the same time. It looks a little bit like that. And we're playing with spotlights over here together. And so what you want to do is we're going to get all of the things ready for us to just go ahead and assemble this ceviche at the last minute. So you could add your chilies at the end if you like that freshness. I love what happens with the acid. I've got some cilantro and a tomato to chop up. This is really a place where you can, get a little bit creative. A mango would be wonderful to put in this. You could add pineapple, which adds a bit of acidity and as well. So I'm going to just take a couple of little bowls here. And if
Chef,
your
do you
limes are
use
dry,
mango
you're going to
verde?
need.
Sorry, do you
What's
use
that?
mango verde? Or do you use the green mango?
Both would be what would be wonderful. We don't have it's kind of it's hard to get the mango verde here. It's possible in California, but in the rest of the country, it's a little bit hard. Chef Fatima is asking if we use green mango for the ceviche, and it would be delicious with both. I was just showing just sweet mango. What about you, Chef Fatima? Would you add only with the green mango?
Yes, definitely. Green mango for ceviches. It's not traditional here at all, but some people, mostly restaurants, but the traditional ceviche cart that you find in the local markets only have shrimp, fish, and we call it concha here, but I don't know how would you guys call it. It's a black oyster, but it's really tiny. It looks like an oyster, and it's really tiny. And when you take it out of the shell, it's black, and it has black ink, just like the calamari. So that is what you can find in the markets. And tomato, onions, and cilantro, and all of these things that I'm going to add in a little bit, and that's it.
Concha is called conch in English.
Actually, no, it is because I know that
some places.
Okay, yeah, I know that conch here in Guatemala is caracol de mar.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe it's not. So then I don't know. What the concha is. Yeah. I'm unfamiliar with it.
You would have to
so now I have a couple of very beautiful tomatoes here. I've got a black heirloom tomato. I can cut it up even big, so you get big hunks of tomato in there. And Amanda, are you not able to co-spotlight? Is that what's happening? If you spotlight, because every time you spotlight, it looks like
I'm trying. Yeah,
I think what's happening is you must have an older version of Zoom that doesn't allow for that. Because every time you take my hands off, it kicks everybody else out. So so just so you know that. All right. So I've got my chilies prepped. My onions are macerating in this. I could even put my onions in. Do you guys use onions, Chef Fatima?
Of course, lots of it. Lots of onions.
And would you put that in? Would you put that in with the fish, or how would you do that?
We would, like I said, the traditional ceviche here is sold mostly Saturdays and Sundays at the markets. So basically, it's something you would eat for lunch after you had a long night of partying. So it's a hangover food. So you go to the market and they prepare it fresh all at once, everything. They don't even marinate. They just cut it all up fresh, and then they serve it. So I would not marinate the shrimp with the onion. I would just add a little bit of lime like you did. And then when it's time to serve, I'll mix it up.
All right. So my instincts are serving me well here. I'm also going to cut up a little bit of cucumber here. And these pieces and a little bit of cilantro, I'm going to have this all chopped up nice and ready to go. And I'm going to remember every couple minutes, just give your fish or your shrimp or whatever it is you decided to use for that. Give it a little spin. I'm going to give these little onions a spin. I'm going to chop up some sprigs of cilantro. because we're going to be eating this pretty soon. I don't want to chop up the cilantro too far in advance. Now, in fine dining, they throw these delicious bits of the cilantro ends away, and I just think that's a shame. So I'm going to do a rough chop on this cilantro, and set that aside. And then I'm going to take a really fine chop on these stems. And to me, this is a very distinctive flavor in what I think of as global soul food, the food of the people from across the world. Everybody uses the cilantro stems. They are a great accompaniment to salsas. You'll find them in Indian chutneys, and they are really just